How many times has a seemingly harmless comment, a sideways glance, or even someone's silence left you ruminating for hours, maybe even days? You know that uneasy feeling in your gut, your mind replaying the moment over and over, trying to decode what they really meant, that sting of hurt, anger, or insecurity when you feel like you've been criticized, judged, or dismissed? If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Taking things personally is one of the most common and often hidden sources of pain and conflict in our relationships. Whether it's with your partner, family, friends, or coworkers, it's like a subtle poison that erodes trust, builds walls, and turns small misunderstandings into deep wounds. How many arguments could have been avoided? How many sleepless nights spent worrying? How much emotional energy drained simply because we interpreted someone's words or actions as a direct reflection of our worth or as a personal attack? But what if I told you there's a key, a powerful tool, almost like a dormant superpower within you, that can diffuse this emotional bomb? What if there was a way to navigate these interactions with more ease, clarity, and inner peace? That key exists. It comes from ancient, profound, and remarkably practical wisdom, brilliantly captured by Toltec teacher Don Miguel Ruiz in his transformative book, The 4 Agreements. While all 4 agreements are invaluable, today we're diving deep into the one that can revolutionize how you relate to the world and the people you care about most. The second agreement: don't take anything personally. At first glance, it might sound simple, even obvious. Sure, don't take things personally. But this agreement's simplicity hides a liberating depth. Living it isn't about brushing off criticism or pretending nothing affects you. It's about understanding a fundamental truth about human nature and how we communicate or miscommunicate. In this journey together, we'll unpack the real meaning behind these words. We'll explore why we're so wired to take things personally, the toll it takes on our lives, and, most importantly, how embracing the second agreement can be the antidote you've been searching for to heal and strengthen your relationships. Get ready for a path of self-discovery and transformation. You'll see that what others say or do is far more about them, their beliefs, fears, dreams, and inner wiring, than about you. By internalizing this, you'll not only free yourself from the burden of others' opinions, but also create space for more authentic, compassionate communication. This isn't just philosophy, it's a practical guide. We'll use real-life examples. Maybe you'll relate to Anna, a manager stressed about her boss's feedback, or Mark, who nearly ended his relationship over a silly misunderstanding. We'll weave in insights from positive psychology, stoicism, and mindfulness, showing how diverse traditions point to this same liberating truth. Here's a special invitation. Stick with this content until the end, because each part builds on the last, and the tools we're sharing can truly make a difference. Plus, here's a bonus. If you enjoy this and leave a comment, maybe sharing a moment when you took something personally, you'll not only help me understand what resonates with you, but you'll also help platforms like YouTube recommend more valuable content like this for your personal growth. Sound good? So, take a deep breath. Open your mind and heart. We're about to explore an agreement that can not only improve, but truly save your relationships, bringing more peace and understanding into your life. Let's discover together how to stop taking things personally and start living with greater emotional freedom. Now, what does it mean to take things personally? We've established that not taking things personally is a powerful path to healthier relationships. But to break this habit, we first need to understand it deeply. So what exactly does it mean to take things personally? In essence, it's interpreting someone else's words, actions, or even inaction as a direct reflection of your value, worth, or as a targeted attack on you. It's when you take something external, a comment, a gesture, a decision, and internalize it, turning it into a statement about who you are. Think of it as wearing a pair of glasses with a filter labeled, "It's all about me." Through these lenses, everything others do or say seems like a response to your existence. A stressed out boss? I must have messed up. A friend cancels plans. They don't value me anymore. Your partner comes home quiet. They're mad at me for something. But this interpretation rarely captures the full reality. It's often a reflection of your inner world, your insecurities, past wounds, expectations, or beliefs about yourself, and how relationships should work. It's like you're constantly searching for evidence in others' behavior to confirm your doubts or fears. Let's see how this plays out in everyday life. In romantic relationships. Remember Mark? He and his girlfriend Sarah planned a dinner out. At the last minute, Sarah calls, exhausted from work, wanting to order takeout instead. Mark feels a pang of rejection. His "it's all about me" filter kicks in. She doesn't find me interesting anymore. She prioritizes work over me. Our relationship isn't important to her. He gets moody, responds coldly, and what could have been a cozy night turns tense. He took her exhaustion personally, seeing it as a rejection of him or their bond. Another classic example, a comment like, "that color doesn't suit you," isn't heard as an opinion about the color, but as, "you think I'm unattractive." In families, picture your mom suggesting how to organize your home. Instead of seeing it as her way of caring or just her habit, you hear, "she thinks I'm a disorganized mess. She never trusts my choices." Or think of sibling dynamics where one success feels like a personal diminishment to the other, stirring up old rivalries or insecurities. With friends, you send an important text to a friend and they take hours or a day to reply. Your mind spins a story. They're ignoring me. Our friendship doesn't matter to them. I must have said something wrong last time. You take their busyness, forgetfulness, or different communication style personally. Or when a friend's joke lightly touches an insecurity, you feel exposed and attacked, even if that wasn't their intent. At work, this is fertile ground. Take Anna, the manager. Her boss gives feedback, suggesting her report needs more detail. Instead of seeing it as guidance to improve what feedback should ideally be, Anna feels it's a direct hit to her intelligence or ability. He thinks I'm not good enough. He's looking for reasons to undermine me. She gets defensive, maybe resentful, missing a chance to learn and grow. Another example, not being invited to a specific project. The personal interpretation might be, "they don't trust my work. I'm being sidelined," when the reason could be logistical, budgetary, or simply a matter of specialization. Notice the pattern? In each case, the person taking it personally assumes the other's behavior is a statement about them. And what's the cost of this dynamic? The consequences are quiet but devastating, piling up over time. Unnecessary conflicts. Most arguments, especially those that escalate fast, start with someone taking something personally. The defensive or accusatory reaction that follows, "you always do this, you never listen," fuels the fire, turning a minor issue, if there even was one, into a clash of egos. Hurt and resentment. Each time you interpret something as a personal attack, a small wound opens. If left unaddressed, these wounds turn into scars of hurt and resentment, quietly poisoning the relationship. You start keeping a mental tally of perceived slights, building a case against the other person. Emotional distance. Fearing more pain or tired of constant conflict, you pull back. Communication becomes shallow, vulnerability fades, and genuine connection slips away. The relationship may persist on the surface, but its heart withers. Personal suffering. Beyond relationships, taking things personally is exhausting for Nastya. It fuels constant anxiety. What do they think of me? Chips away at your self-esteem as you seek external validation and read everything as criticism, and steals your peace. It's a vicious, painful cycle. But as Don Miguel Ruiz teaches, This habit of wearing the "it's all about me" glasses isn't your only option. It's a mental pattern, often learned and reinforced over time, but like any habit, it can be challenged and changed. Before we dive into how the second agreement offers a freeing alternative, I invite you to reflect. In which area of your life, romance, family, friendships, or work, do you notice yourself taking things personally most often? Can you think of a recent example? Feel free to share in the comments if you're comfortable. Recognizing the pattern is the first step to shifting it. Next, we'll plunge into the second agreement and uncover why it's so revolutionary for breaking this cycle. Charchui Turina. The second agreement. Don't take anything personally. We've seen how the trap of taking things personally keeps us stuck in cycles of pain and conflict. Now, let's unlock the door with the key Toltec wisdom offers. The second agreement. Don't take anything personally. In the Four Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz puts it with striking clarity. Nothing others do is because of you. What they say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you're immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Let's unpack this, because here's where the magic happens. Ruiz is saying that every person lives in their own bubble of reality, their own movie. This movie is shaped by their past experiences, beliefs, often unconscious, fears, wounds, inner agreements, and current emotional state. When someone interacts with you, whether with a harsh word, a compliment, a critique, a kind gesture, or indifference, that interaction comes from their movie. It's a reflection of their script, not necessarily an accurate or fair depiction of your reality or worth. Picture each person carrying a projector. That projector beams their inner movie onto the world. When someone says something about you, they're projecting a scene from their movie onto the screen you happen to be standing in front of. If their movie is full of insecurity or fear, they might project criticism or distrust. If it's brimming with joy or love, they might project kindness or appreciation. But fundamentally, it's always their movie playing. This idea isn't unique to Toltec wisdom. We find echoes of it across traditions. Stoicism. Philosophers like Epictetus taught centuries ago that it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Someone's comment is an external event. Taking it personally is our internal judgment, and that's where the suffering lies. They urge us to focus on what we can control, our interpretation, our response. Buddhism. The concept of anatta, non-self, and interdependence suggests that others' actions stem from a complex web of causes and conditions, often tied to their own suffering or ignorance. Seeing this helps us detach from taking things as personal attacks and fosters compassion for others' struggles. Taoism. This tradition encourages flowing with life's natural course, the Tao. Others' words and actions are part of that flow. Trying to control or react personally to every ripple is exhausting and futile. It's wiser to observe, understand where the ripple comes from, and choose how to move with it, rather than being swept away. Embracing "don't take anything personally" is deeply freeing. Here's why. You become immune to emotional poison. Ruiz uses the metaphor of emotional poison. We may, when someone directs negativity at you, gossip, criticism, anger, if you take it personally, you swallow that poison, and it harms you. By practicing the second agreement, you build a shield. You recognize the poison belongs to the other person, a reflection of their state, and choose not to ingest it. You might even feel compassion for someone carrying such toxicity. You break free from needing approval. Much of our pain comes from chasing external validation. We take things personally because, deep down, we tie others' opinions to our worth. When you stop personalizing, you anchor your sense of value within yourself. Others' opinions become just that. Opinions, glimpses of their movie, not the ultimate truth about you. That's freedom. You gain space to respond, not react. Emotional reactivity fuels so many conflicts. Someone says something and you snap back, taking it personally and getting defensive. The second agreement creates a crucial pause between stimulus and response. In that pause, you can observe, remind yourself, this isn't about me, and choose a calmer, more thoughtful response. As Viktor Frankl said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Otam. You cultivate inner peace. Think of all the mental and emotional energy spent replaying conversations, worrying about others' thoughts, or defending against imagined attacks. By letting go of personalizing, you reclaim that energy. Your mind quiets, your heart lightens. You find a serenity that doesn't hinge on external circumstances or others' moods. Let's revisit Mark. If he practiced the second agreement when Sarah canceled dinner, instead of thinking, she doesn't love me anymore, he might reflect, wow, she must be wiped out. Work's been tough for her. I'm glad she feels safe being honest with me. The night could stay warm, maybe even with a kind gesture from him to support her. And Anna? Instead of, my boss thinks I'm incompetent, she could think, okay, he's pointing out areas to improve the report. This is about the work, not me as a person. How can I use this to do even better next time? She turns a potential stressor into a growth opportunity. As Eleanor Roosevelt put it, in a way that aligns perfectly with this agreement, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Taking things personally is, in essence, giving that consent. The second agreement is about taking back that power. Try this. Think of a recent moment when you felt hurt or offended by something someone said or did. Now apply the second agreement's lens. What if their action or words weren't really about you, but a reflection of their inner world, stress, fear, beliefs? How does that shift your perspective? Just notice, without judgment. Not taking things personally doesn't mean being passive or tolerating disrespect. We'll touch more on setting healthy boundaries later. But it does mean understanding where others' behavior comes from and choosing not to let it poison you. It's a radical act of self-care and emotional intelligence. How this agreement transforms relationships. Understanding don't take anything personally is the first step. The real transformation happens when you weave it into your daily interactions. It's like learning to use a new tool. It takes focus at first, but with practice, it becomes second nature, a core part of how you connect with others. So how does this agreement work its magic in relationships? It builds on three key pillars that together change the game: self-awareness, empathy, and effective communication. 1. Awakening self-awareness. The inner alarm. The first shift the second agreement sparks is heightened self-awareness. It's like an internal alarm that goes off the moment you start slipping into the personalization trap. Remember that gut twist, racing mind, or sting of hurt or anger we talked about? Those are your cues. Before, you might have just reacted, swept up by emotion. Now, with the second agreement in mind, you start to see these signals as a heads up. Hold on, I'm taking this personally. It's a moment of mindfulness, tuning into your inner state. You notice the tension in your body, the defensive thoughts bubbling up. They're attacking me. The urge to lash out or shut down. Instead of being hijacked by that reaction, you observe it. You think, aha, there's that old pattern of feeling criticized or rejected. This simple pause to notice what's happening inside you is game-changing. It's the space Viktor Frankl described between stimulus and response. In that space, you're no longer a puppet of your knee-jerk emotions. You take back control. You can breathe and remind yourself, this action, these words, they might not be about me. Imagine your partner comments on the messy house, a sore spot for you. The alarm bells ring. Defensiveness surges, but instead of snapping, "You think I do nothing?" you catch the feeling and think, "Okay, I'm taking this personally." Breathe. Is this about their need for order, their stress, or just a neutral observation my insecurities twisting? That pause changes everything. 2. Cultivating empathy. Seeing beyond the mirror. When you stop assuming everything's about you, something beautiful happens. Empathy blooms. If the other person's words or actions aren't a personal attack, then what one are they? That question opens the door to genuine curiosity about their inner world. You start asking, what's going on with them to make them act this way? Are they having a rough day? What need of theirs isn't being met, showing up like this? What fear or belief is driving their words? Recall the projector metaphor. You stop identifying with the image projected onto you and get curious about the movie playing inside them. That's empathy in action. You realize their behavior, even when it's tough to handle, often stems from their own pain, stress, or unique perspective from their movie. This ties beautifully to Buddhist compassion. Seeing that someone's hurtful actions might come from their own suffering or confusion softens anger and hurt, making room for understanding, or at least neutrality. Stoicism reminds us to separate people's actions from their intentions. Not every upsetting behavior is meant to target us. Back to Mark. Practicing empathy instead of feeling rejected by Sarah's exhaustion, he might think, "Wow, honey, you sound wiped. What happened at work today?" He opens a channel for connection and support, not a wall of resentment. Or Anna, instead of feeling attacked by feedback, might reflect, "My boss has team goals to meet. He needs solid reports. His intent is probably to ensure quality, not to put me down." 3. Building effective communication. Bridges, not walls. Self-awareness and empathy, fueled by the second agreement, pave the way for much better communication. Why? Because defensiveness, almost always triggered by taking things personally, is the biggest barrier to clear, open dialogue. When you're not busy fending off a perceived attack, you can truly listen to what the other person is saying, or trying to say. You can separate their message from the emotional noise, yours and theirs. Plus, you can express your own feelings and needs more clearly, without blame. Instead of saying, "You're always criticizing me," a defensive generalization, you might try drawing on nonviolent communication. For example, "When you mentioned the house, I felt insecure. I'd love to feel supported and work together on this. Can we talk about how to manage it as a team?" In a finance talk with your partner, instead of taking a comment about spending as a personal jab, "You think I'm reckless," you could use the second agreement to stay calm and say, "I hear you're worried about our budget. I am too. Can we review the numbers together and find adjustments without pointing fingers?" The conversation shifts from a battleground to a collaborative space. At work, facing constructive criticism, like Anna, instead of reacting poorly, you might say, "Thanks for the feedback. I see you'd like more detail in sections X and Y. Could you share an example of what you're looking for? I want to get this right next time." It shows professionalism, openness, and diffuses tension. See how these pillars, self-awareness, empathy, and effective communication, powered by the simple, but not easy, act of not taking things personally, can transform your relationships. Arguments turn into conversations. Misunderstandings get clarified, not festering into resentment. Emotional connection deepens because there's more safety and less fear of judgment. You feel lighter, less reactive, and more at peace, no matter how others behave. Damar Spam. Practical steps to apply the agreement. Everyday theory is vital, but real change happens in daily practice. Living "don't take anything personally" is like building a new skill. It takes intention, repetition, and self-compassion. Don't aim for perfection. Celebrate every step forward. Here's a toolkit of practical steps you can start using today to strengthen this habit of non-personalization. 1. Master the conscious pause, the hold on button. This is the most critical step and the first to practice. When that inner alarm goes off, the emotional tug, the tension, the urge to react. Stop, literally, before you speak, text back impulsively, or clam up defensively. How to do it. Breathe deeply. Take 1, 2, or 3 slow, deep breaths. Feel the air moving in and out. This calms your nervous system and buys you mental space. Count to 10 or 50. If you need more time, count silently. The goal is to disrupt the automatic reaction. Step away if possible. If the situation allows, excuse yourself briefly, splash water on your face, grab a drink. A physical shift can reset your mindset. Why it works. The pause breaks the stimulus-reaction cycle. It pulls you out of emotional autopilot, putting you back in the driver's seat to choose your response, not be ruled by the initial emotion. It's Frankl's space of freedom in action. 2. Challenge the initial story, the inner detective. In that pause, unleash your inner detective. The first story your mind spins, "They did this to hurt me," is often rooted in old patterns or insecurities. Your job is to question it. How to do it? Ask yourself, is this really about me? Challenge the assumption. Toss. What else could explain their behavior or words? Brainstorm possibilities, their stress, fatigue, worries, a bad day, a different perspective, poor communication skills. Am I filtering this through my own insecurities? Be honest about your triggers. What's the actual evidence this was a personal attack? Often, there's none, just our interpretation. Why it works. Questioning the knee-jerk story weakens its grip on you. Exploring other explanations opens your mind to a broader, less self-centered view, aligning with the second agreement. Others' actions are about them. 3. Focus on your circle of control, the ship's helm. Lean into stoic wisdom. Pour your energy into what you can control and let go of what you can't. You don't control others' thoughts, words, or actions. You don't control their movie. Trying to is a recipe for frustration. What you can control. Your interpretation of events, using the pause and questioning. Your emotions, not suppressing them but managing them, keeping them from running the show. Your response, choosing words and actions aligned with your values. Your boundaries, communicating what's okay or not. Assertively but not reactively. More on this later. Us, how to do it when you're tempted to fixate on someone's behavior. Why did they do that? Or gently shift focus. Okay, this happened. What can I control now? How do I want to respond in a way that feels true to me? Why it works. This restores your power and agency. Instead of feeling like a victim of others' actions or circumstances, you become the captain of your ship, navigating human interactions with balance and purpose. 4. Practice the non-personalization journal, your inner treasure map. Self-awareness is key, and journaling is a powerful way to build it. Spend a few minutes daily or whenever you feel triggered. How to do it? Describe the situation. Write objectively what happened, who said or did what. Name the emotion. What did you feel? Anger, hurt, fear, insecurity. Label it. Capture the automatic thought. What was your first interpretation? They hate me. I'm a failure. Jot it down. Apply the second agreement. Question the story. What else could explain it? Was it really about you? How might their movie have shaped this? Reflect on your response. How did you react? How would you like to respond next time using the agreement? What did you learn? Try a 7-day don't take it personally challenge. For 1 week, commit to these steps, especially journaling. Share in the comments at the week's end. What was toughest? What was your biggest aha moment? Let's build a community on this journey. Tag a friend who'd benefit and do it together. Why it works. Writing clarifies your thoughts, spots recurring personalization patterns, and reinforces the second agreement consciously. It's like mapping your inner world, making it easier to navigate. Practicing these steps doesn't mean becoming a doormat or ignoring truly disrespectful behavior. It means choosing to respond from clarity and inner strength, not reactivity or hurt. It means setting boundaries effectively because you're no longer lost in the fog of personalization. Start small. Pick one tool, maybe the pause and breathing, and focus on it for a few days. Then add another. Be kind to yourself. Every effort is a win. Cultivating. Long-term benefits. Living the second agreement isn't just about handling daily conflicts better or feeling less stressed after a tough talk. It's about planting seeds for profound transformation that bloom over time, rippling through every part of your life. It's an investment in your well-being and relationships that pays dividends in peace and joy. Here are the lasting rewards waiting for you. 1. Healthier, happier, more resilient relationships. This is perhaps the most obvious and powerful benefit. By stopping the personalization habit, you remove a major roadblock to intimacy and trust. Fewer destructive conflicts. Disagreements still happen. We're human, with different needs and views. But they change. Instead of ego clashes where everyone defends against perceived attacks, they become chances to understand, express needs, and solve problems together. Communication gets clearer, kinder, and more collaborative. Remember those pillars. Deeper intimacy and trust. When people around you feel safe to be themselves, sharing tough feelings without you taking it personally, trust grows. Vulnerability feels less risky, letting emotional connection thrive. You create a space where others can be real with their own movie playing. Resilience through challenges. Relationships rooted in this practice weather life's inevitable storms, misunderstandings, stressors, with more grace and less lasting damage. The foundation isn't constantly undermined by personal interpretations or grudges. Picture your relationships, romantic, family, friendships, work, flowing with less friction, more understanding, and a true sense of partnership. That's the second agreement's long-term magic. 2. Less stress, more inner peace. Taking everything personally is mentally and emotionally draining. It's like carrying an invisible weight, always on guard, analyzing every word or look. Letting that go frees up tremendous energy. Less mental ruminating. Your mind stops looping over past conversations, decoding hidden meanings, or fretting about others' opinions. That mental space can now fuel creativity, joy, or focus. Emotional calm. You become less reactive to others' emotional waves or external events. Your peace stops being held hostage by circumstances or moods. You build an inner anchor of calm that holds steady even in chaos, like the Stoic inner citadel. Physical well-being. Chronic stress from constant personalization takes a toll. Tight muscles, digestion issues, poor sleep. Easing mental and emotional strain boosts your physical health too. Imagine feeling light, calm, no longer at war with the world or yourself over social interactions. That peace is priceless, one of the second agreement's greatest gifts. 3. Stronger self-esteem and emotional independence. When you take things personally, your self-esteem rides a roller coaster tied to external validation. A compliment lifts you. A criticism, real or imagined, sinks you. Inner source of worth. The second agreement untethers your value from others' opinions. You deeply grasp that what people say or think reflects them, not your inherent worth. Your self-esteem grows from within, rooted in your values, actions, and self-acceptance. Less need for approval. The endless quest for others' validation fades. You feel freer to be yourself, share your thoughts, and make choices, even if not everyone agrees, because your well-being doesn't hinge on it. Trust in your perspective. You gain confidence in your ability to see the world and interactions clearly, without the distortion of personalization. Imagine feeling secure in who you are, no matter what others think or say. Picture making choices true to your values, unswayed by fear of disapproval. That's the freedom of a self-esteem anchored within. These benefits, stronger relationships, inner peace, solid self-worth, aren't separate. They feed each other, creating a virtuous cycle of growth and well-being. Living the second agreement isn't just a communication trick. It's a way of life that frees you to be authentic, connected, and at ease. It's a path to reclaiming your power and peace. We're wrapping up our journey. We've come to the end of our exploration of one of the most liberating Toltec agreements. Don't take anything personally. We started by recognizing that familiar ache, feeling like others' words or actions are direct attacks on us, the instinct to internalize everything as a verdict on our worth. We saw how this habit, often unconscious, poisons our relationships, romantic, family, friendships, work, sparking conflicts, hurt, and distance. Then, we found the powerful key from Don Miguel Ruiz. Nothing others do is because of you. Everyone acts and speaks from their movie, their reality, their pain, and beliefs. Taking things personally is, at its core, buying into a projection that isn't truly yours. We explored how embracing this agreement isn't about indifference, but profound wisdom and self-kindness. It awakens self-awareness, helping us spot our triggers and pause before reacting. It fosters empathy, inviting us to look beyond ourselves and understand others' inner worlds. And it clears the way for honest, effective communication, building bridges instead of walls. We shared practical steps, the conscious pause, challenging knee-jerk stories, focusing on what you control, and journaling, to train your mind and heart in this new way of engaging with the world. And we glimpsed the lasting rewards, thriving relationships, deep peace, and a self-worth rooted in you, not others' validation. Remember, not taking things personally is a radical act of freedom. It's shedding the weight of others' opinions, the need for constant approval, the reactivity that steals your calm. It's claiming your right to define your value and choose how you respond to the world, not dancing to others' moods or whims. Ultimately, it's an act of self-love. I know it's not easy. It's a practice, a journey, not a switch you flip overnight. There'll be days you slip back into old patterns, moments when emotions take over, and that's okay. It's not about perfection, but intention and persistence. Be gentle with yourself. Every time you pause, breathe, and remember the agreement, you're rewriting your inner script and strengthening your emotional resilience. Here's my final invitation. Start today. Start small. Pick one practice, maybe just pausing and breathing, and commit to trying it in your next challenging interaction. Notice what shifts. Jot down your insights if you can. If this resonated, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might benefit, and drop a comment below. What was your biggest takeaway? Are you in for the 7-day Don't Take It Personally challenge? Your engagement means the world and helps spread this message of growth. And hey, hit subscribe for more content like this. Imagine a world where more people live this agreement, fewer pointless conflicts, more empathy, deeper connections. To dive deeper, check out our ebook on applying all 4 agreements daily, link in the pinned comment and description. 2 videos are popping up now with more content like this, focused on mindful living and healthier relationships. Click 1 to keep your journey going. This transformation starts within each of us. By choosing not to take things personally, you're not just bettering your life, you're helping create a kinder, more peaceful world.